All right, dude.
Here we go. We got our first testing tournament going on. We've been rule testing for a few weeks now, and we have come up with our favorite rule set so far. On the outside, we have a 30-foot outer boundary, and it still allows for a chase down. Like, when I run, and boom. This is a 2-foot no-hit zone.
Here, stand on the side for a second. Stand at the normal no-hit zone. And now lean over. So this is what the normal no-hit zone looks like. And now take a step back to the 2-foot. And now you can see that he really needs to reach a lot further.
And the last rule change is the rally ball. Can I see that? Thank you. Yeah. So we got the rally ball, 4 inches diameter rather than 3-inch pro ball. Combined,
yeah.
I think it really encourages the right fundamentals. I'll give you guys updates throughout the day on how this is feeling in a tournament setting. Yeah. Yeah. No, yeah.
Can't stop, addicted to the shindig. Chop top, it says I'm gonna win big. Choose not to life of imitation. Distant cuts into the reservation. Deep off the pistol that you pay for. This part the feeling that you stay for. In time, I want to be your best friend. Eastside love is living on the west end. Knocked out before you better come to. Don't die, you know the truth is some do. Go right, the push, bro.
What's your favorite part about rule change so far?
The ability to get more touches.
And is there anything you feel like hasn't been good?
I'm a tall person, I'm 6'4", and so the 2-foot no-hit zone hasn't affected me. It would create a larger skill gap based on height, which is unfortunate. And the balls need to be more consistent.
All right, technically, Mitch and I are playing together for the tournament, but we're playing against 2 wonderful ladies, and we're gonna split up and do mixed to give it a test.
Just for funsies.
Just for fun.
Yeah.
180, crazy. Thinking about the way I was. Did the heartbreak change me? Maybe, but look at where I ended up. I'm on board already, so move on. It's scary. I'm not where you left me at all. So if you don't wanna see.
What have been the best parts of the rule changes that you've experienced so far?
Honestly, just the fact that like the fundamentally better team wins the majority of the time. I've definitely played matches where like I get beat by someone that just cannot like set a ball. And now like if you can't set, like you're just not winning that point. Or if you have bad footwork, especially with this extended no-hit zone, it's really tough to get a good clean put away. So just it really incentivizes good habits overall, I would say.
Nice.
Aren't you the guy who tried to hurt me with the word goodbye? Though it took some time to survive you, I'm better on the other side.
Oh yeah. We got the professional Sunny Goo up
Hello.
here.
I think the best rule change definitely is big ball, because I think that with a smaller ball, they like the regular pro ball. The reaction time of getting touches is super hard, which leads to a lot more like body touches and lucky touches. But like with bigger ball, you definitely have the case of having more time to react and kind of having the luxury of staying off net because the ball's coming slower, and you get better touches that way. And it does lead to more rallies. But I do think that it's still, the 1-2-3 rate is still pretty high, and it's not as like
a 1-2-3 put away?
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
And I think that, especially as we're all getting used to it right now, it's like there's gonna be more rallies, but the one thing I'm scared of is like, will people just get used to it and people understand how to hit better, and then just like 1-2-3s will be the kind of the same percentage as before. Yeah. I do like the out of bounds as a concept, because like people can't just like whale it, because that is the weakness with no out of bounds. Like, oh, I have no shot option, let me just rip the ball away. I definitely think that increasing the range to like 40 to 45 feet would be more beneficial. Like probably 40 feet would be like great. The issue is like I always think about field space and like it doesn't make sense to do that on like a bigger stage and like on like a tournament level.
Yeah.
rallies. I feel like the ball is slowing everything down more. With the ball we were playing with before, I'd be like, ah, it's a goner. But now I'm like, oh, I actually can get there.
The rules that we're playing right now do a really good job of keeping serving as a part of the game and hitting as an important part of the game. A lot of the complaints have been that those two are too overpowered, but I don't think that we should just take them out completely and make it all about defense or all about one thing or the other. And so I think that this is a really good balance for still having serving as an important part of the game and good serving players being able to generate breaks through that while still bringing out other parts of the game that are important.
Just a touch, baby. I look around since city's cold and empty. No one's around to judge me. I can see clearly when you're gone. And I said, ooh, I'm blinded by the lights. No, I can't sleep until I feel your touch. I said,
Eli, that touch was filthy.
Sky, so I hit the road in overdrive, baby. Oh, the city's cold and empty. No one's around to judge me. I can see clearly when you're gone. And I said, ooh, I'm blinded by the lights. No, I can't sleep.
That would have been the clip of the turn.
So I think pros and cons to the 2-foot no hit zone. Me on the shorter side makes hitting a lot harder. The amount of hits I can hit has gone down a lot. It's a lot of fun though. Overall, positive experience.
You're a pretty tall guy. How do you feel with the 2-foot no hit zone?
Doesn't affect me.
Okay, yeah.
No change whatsoever. I think the 30-foot out of bounds is incredible. It encourages thoughtful hitting. I think for me, when I'm about to boom, I have a second mental check to try a flick or do one that's placed better, which I think is just better for my hitting overall. And then conversely, it makes my partner be a better setter, because when the set's over middle, I think a flick is still very hard to defend.
They say, oh my God, I see the way you shine.
Let's go.
Take your hand, my D, and place them both in mine. You know you stopped me dead while I was passing by. And now I beg to see you dance just one more time. Ooh, I see you every time. And oh my, I like your style. You make me wanna cry. And now I beg to see you dance just one more time. So they say, dance for me, dance for me, dance for me, oh. I never seen anybody do the things you do before. They say, move for me, move for me, move for me, eh, eh. And when you're done, I'll make you do it all again. I said, oh my God, I see you walking by. Take my hands, my D, and look me in my eyes. Just like a monkey, I've been dancing my whole life. But you just beg to see me dance just one more time. Ooh, I see you every time. And oh my, I like your style. You make me wanna cry.
We just finished our first rule testing tournament. I think all in all, the day felt way more fun to us than a normal competitive Spikeball tournament.
We've played like at this with this skill range too.
Yeah.
Like, these are like local Boston city tournaments, and we've played a bunch of them throughout the last 2 years. This felt like my favorite of all of them.
Then we went to stats. First, we can show the current statistical makeup. So Scotty Beeks shared the current makeup based on the Worlds tournament.
Yeah, it was, so it's not even that much. It's literally just the finals stats of the Worlds.
Just the finals.
So
of
that's
Worlds.
ES versus in system. So those are not two like serve ball teams.
Yeah.
Like double faults 35%, rallies 10%, side outs, so 1, 2, 3 putaways 25%, and aces 30%.
So that means 65% of points that you are watching as a spectator and playing as a player either end on double fault or an ace.
Yeah, and 90% of points end in the first 2 possessions.
That's so disturbing.
Yeah,
of course, it's no
yeah.
fun to watch and no fun to play. Rallies in this counts as a defensive break, also counts as a rally.
Right.
So a defensive break meaning the defense gets a touch and then puts it away.
So 3 possession changes, like serve, the other team brings it back, and then the defense brings it back.
And we believe that we should make a very clear distinction between a defensive break and a rally. That a defensive break should be that 3 possession change, but a rally should count as 4 and beyond. Yes, we want more defensive breaks to watch, but where people get up on their feet, get out of their chair, is 4 possessions and beyond. So we think it's very important to start breaking that up too and make it very clear that there is a big difference between a hold, which is a 1, 2, 3 put away, a defensive break, which is then 1 more possession, and a rally, which is then
4 possession changes or more.
So when we looked at our stats for the finals, double faults, 8.5%.
Versus 35%. It was because we were all putting on second serve because we all were like, we can play defense now.
Yep.
You know, it wasn't impossible to play defense.
Aces, we had 12.3%.
Down from 30%.
I wouldn't say that we had 4 crazy servers on the net. Both Sonny and Sam are really good servers. We're decent servers.
Yep.
But that would probably look a lot different with pros.
Yeah, I think aces would definitely go up. As long as aces aren't above like 20%, I think I'd be happy.
Yeah, you don't want a fourth of points that you're watching to be an ace.
Right.
You know, that's a pretty boring sport to watch.
Yeah.
But then 1, 2, 3 putaways, so holds, was 62%.
Up from 25%.
So that means if you're watching this sport, 60% of the time, it's just they serve receive and then they put it away. That's way better than 65% of the time it ending on serve.
Yeah, that's better. That's better.
At least you're watching someone touch a ball once. Yeah. And then the last 2 stats. So if we're counting rallies in the way that Scotty Beeks did when it comes to the Worlds, which they had 10% were rallies, which again, for them, rallies was just going into a 3rd possession.
Yeah.
If we were counting anything that goes into a 3rd possession, we had 17%, up from 10% of rallies in the Worlds.
Which is cool.
Which is great. I've heard some other people who did stats on more of the World's finals matches and semis and stuff like that, and they were saying that the average rally percentage was closer to 6 to 7%.
That's what I've heard as well.
So that's a solid drop from 10, and then if we're at 17 here, that means that we're pretty much doubling what the average rallies were. But again, we think it's very important to break up defensive breaks, this 3 possession, from the 4 possession rally. So if we look at that, then we see that defensive breaks was 7.5% of the time and rallies was 9.4%.
Yeah, which is cool.
Yeah,
there were
which is cool.
there were not a ton, but there were some 5 and 6 possession change rallies in the finals.
Yeah. Looking at the stats was super interesting because we were playing the games and feeling and thinking, wow, this is amazing because there's so many more touches than normal. Mm-hmm. However, if you think about watching this sport, if you are only seeing 9% of the time it going into a rally,
yeah.
Imagine if you were inviting your mom to come watch this, and that means that every 10th point there would be a rally to watch. Every 10th point. Imagine how boring that is for your mom.
Yeah.
That's so boring.
Yeah. Or just any organization or governing body, if you're watching this, like, we would love to see what these rules looked like at a high level.
Yeah.
Like if it was just like an STS tournament and it was Premier just played these rules.
Yeah.
Like I would love to see the stats from that because I think they would look different, and more importantly, even if they were the same, they would give a much more accurate readout.
Yeah.
Of what the rules are like.
Yeah, obviously we understand this was one tournament.
Yeah.
One set of statistics. We don't think this is conclusive data.
No, not at all.
However, very helpful to play a full day, and to feel like most games were pretty similar in terms of like these amounts of touches. I would say like games throughout the day all felt pretty similar. Looking at these stats from this tournament where we changed 3 rules, we changed a lot. We changed ball, no hit zone, and out of bounds.
Yeah, that's a lot.
And still, if you look at the stats, if I was a spectator, I wouldn't watch this sport.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think anyone who says that they would be excited to watch that sport, it's like, I don't know, would you really? Would you really if 1 out of 10 plays goes into a rally?
Yeah.
Like imagine if you were watching a tennis match or a ping pong match or a volleyball match and you had to sit through 9 points until finally a rally appeared. It's like you'd probably leave.
Yeah.
And I think that's a really good thing for us to stay in tune with throughout this whole process of rule updates is like what would actually draw people to this sport, because that is what would allow the sport to grow, which has really, I think, centered both of us, especially me, back on something that we mentioned in our first video that we made about rule change, that it feels like the thing that's really missing from Roundnet is a vision for what this sport should look like.
Yeah.
Like, what do we want the experience to be for not only players, but also viewers? Do we want the sport to be something that can be viewed and have paid professionals and have full professional leagues? Because if you want that, you need to think about what is the experience going to be for a viewer. And then you can see with these statistics, it's not it.
Yeah.
And of course, we need more stats to understand what's going on. But I feel like we should always reframe looking at these stats from that point of view of what's the vision for the sport.
Right, because then, like, what is this all based on then?
Yes.
Yeah, that feels really important, is to be clear about what our individual goals are for the sport, and then, like, even more important, just like a collective, like, where do we want to go?
Yes.
Yeah, with this.
Yeah.
Yeah.